Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Psych Mom Show. Today, we are going to talk about how you can get genuine sexual performance feedback from your wife, which may sound terrifying, but it's certainly better than the alternative of not knowing what the fuck she's thinking. And we will get to that topic as soon as I tell you to subscribe. The most recent one for subscription episodes is why your wife's personality changes after kids, for all of those men who have experienced that and don't know why. So what we want to dive into today is this. Okay, so first of all, what do I mean by genuine feedback? So plenty of guys say to their wife after they have sex, they say something like, "Was it good?" Well, I mean, what's she going to say? No? I mean, if she says no, then she risks that you're going to be sulky and depressed and all of these different things. So really, it's a non-question. It's the same kind of question as when she says something like, do you like this dress? And like, you all aren't going for a photo shoot or anything, so why the hell would you say no? She's happy about the dress. Seems like she wants you to like the dress, so what's it to you? If you don't hate the dress, if the dress isn't a flaming garbage fire, then you're going to say, yes, I like the dress. So this is, but with sex, it's the same, but it's a little different. Even if it's a flaming garbage fire, she may say that it's okay, because what else is she going to say? The very wording of the question is so anxious and reassurance seeking that she loves you, she cares about you. In a situation where it's not your wife, that it's just one night stands, if you've asked your one night stands, of course they're all going to say yes. What the hell they want to get into some kind of conflict? They're not going to like hurt your feelings. They're just going to leave. But it's very, very, it's awkward. It's not fun. It's just like, who wants to like say no in that situation when you care about somebody? So what the woman usually thinks, like a lot of guys think then, like, okay, well then that's like a lie, and or she doesn't really care about her sex life, or like, well, she just thinks I'm some sort of an idiot. None of that is true. It's literally like the dress thing. It's like she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, and keep in mind, this is extremely accurate in case you're going to be like, yeah, right, she doesn't know how to make it better. Most women have had fewer sexual partners than the guy that they marry. It's usually women have had on average 5 and men have had on average 7 or something total partners in their lives. But among the couples that I see, there's frequently women who have had almost none, or just 1 or 2, and the man has had a few, or neither of them has had any pretty much before. So what the hell does she know? She knows nothing. So if she thinks that whatever just happened may be good too, especially in a situation where she's had an orgasm. And then if you're like, well, then it would be good. No, grasshopper. That's not accurate. Just because she has an orgasm does not mean it was a good sexual experience. If you're a woman who can have an orgasm, you can have an orgasm with like a man in a coma because you know how to have an orgasm. So, if you move around the right way and you figure shit out, and there's like the way too many people that bring the vibrator in, which just obviates the man entirely, then she can have an orgasm, but it still wasn't a wonderful sexual experience, but she doesn't fucking know any different, and or she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Usually it's a combination. She has no idea, and I've discussed this a lot, that like many women have no idea their full sexual potential. I've talked about that on my podcast because they have never really thought about it. Sex wasn't a priority. Society trains women not to be sluts, not to think about sex, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, she doesn't know any better, and she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. So between those two things, she says it was good. How do you then, and then of course you don't improve because you think you got it in the bag, and then, your sex life keeps being subpar forever. So how can you get not positive, certainly not. You don't want to get positive feedback if you don't deserve any. But how do you get realistic feedback, genuine, authentic feedback from your wife? Well, first of all, you can't ask any yes or no questions because it's only a yes or yes question unless the woman is a real bitch. She's not going to say no. I've just went through all the reasons why. So instead you say, how can I get better? And she's going to be like, well, you can. It's fine. Everything's fine. You'd be like, okay, well, how can I get better at? And then you go through the various things that you did. Hopefully you did at least a few things in this encounter. How can I get better at foreplay? And she'll be like, yeah, I don't know. Well, sometimes, sometimes like I just wish it wouldn't go so fast. All right, good. So you got something to talk about, right? How could I do better at oral sex? How could I do you think that it would be better if we tried a different position? She's going to say, no, it's fine. So listen, she's going to say, no, it's fine. No, it's fine is a non-answer. You ignore that answer. Believe me, if the sexual experience was transformative, she wouldn't be like, no, it's fine. And you know this in your heart. You're just trying to pretend that it's been different than what your common sense is telling you. If it was amazing, she would be like, no, I can't. It's amazing. I can't imagine it being any better. And like, if she says that, then you're within your rights to rest on your laurels and really, break out some champagne. But if she's just like, no, it's fine. And then especially if she's like, listen, I don't know what you want from me. It's fine. Or even I got off. It's fine. Then it's not really that great. She just doesn't know how to make it better, and or she doesn't think it's possible for it to be better. Not because it's so amazing, but because literally she does not know how it could be possible for sex to be really enjoyable, because she's not had much experience with that, including with you. And this is not your fault, by the way. None of this is your fault because you haven't been trained by this individual woman. As I've discussed myriad times, every woman is different. Her body is different. Men make the mistake. They think you could come into a sexual encounter with this, amount, like in a video game, you have like sexual prowess, 100, and then you're just great in bed. That's inaccurate. Every woman is different, and every woman has different desires and preferences. And so if she hasn't told you anything, how could you be good? So no shame in your game here, but you got to try different things. If she keeps saying, no, it's okay, no, it's okay. Some women, if you ask them, what can I do different? Show me something I can do different. I've written a post called Show Me, or the words to unlock your wife's sexual potential. But if you say, show me what you could be different, what have you liked before? And remember, I told you it's important to talk about past sexual experience so that it doesn't bite you in the ass later on when you somehow assume your wife's only been with you. Turns out she's not only been with you. Or whatever else. You got to ask this with the same tenacity as you do other things in your life, not all at the same time. I mean, you don't shine a searchlight on her after sex and say, show me exactly what I should do differently with my hand. No, but in every encounter, there should be some kind of you trying something else and seeing how she responds. Even if she says it's fine, especially if she says it's fine. And do never ask her again, was it okay? You could say, did you come? Because that could give you useful information. Hopefully, she will at some point say no, so then you can learn that men don't always know, because that's like a terribly pernicious myth, is that men can always tell. Men can't always tell. Obviously, seen in Harry Met Sally, when Harry met Sally, and every bit of being a human female that talks to other human females. There was some statistic I read I don't know when, but it was like something like 80% of women have faked an orgasm. For sure, women have faked orgasms with you. I mean, it's like, that should not be like a massive shock. Like, there are many men that have faked orgasms too, and you may be among them, because people just can't always come if they're drunk, if they're whatever, and nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings. So you need to be asking with more creativity. You need to be trying other things in bed and assessing different reactions. You need to give actual options, like, do you like it better when I use my fingers or when I use my mouth? There, bam. She can't say fine. Like, that would not be a logical answer. She would fail that portion of the multiple choice test. She has to say an answer. So then you already have new information. Do you like it better with the lights on or off? Do you like wearing the lingerie I bought you, or do you not? Do you like if I touch your breasts, or do you not? I mean, like, you can ask these kinds of things, or you can just try. If she's really doesn't want to open up her mouth at all because she feels so awkward, then you can just try different things and see a response. But if you are dating somebody, if this is your wife, okay. But if you're dating somebody who does not open open up their mouth to talk about their sexual preferences and you are somebody with a high libido, do not marry this person, because you are never going to be happy, because if they won't talk about sex in the honeymoon phase of dating you, they will not talk about sex later on, and they do not ever want to talk about sex because they feel uncomfortable about sex. So this is a warning sign, red flag for somebody who is not really that into sex, is that they will never talk about sex, even down to refusing to answer questions. You don't need this. You can be with somebody who is more sexually open. Anyway, so you're asking for your feedback, or you're trying new things, or you're giving them questions with 2 options or more. And then you should also say, tell me what you think about when you masturbate. Not if you masturbate, not do you masturbate, because then if, she may feel like you're expecting her to say no or something. Just assume she masturbates. Now, keep in mind, this is like she may not masturbate. So she knows how to say that, by the way, as a response. I don't masturbate. And then most guys think the woman's lying. She's not lying. She's usually not lying. Because if you say something like, how many times a week do you masturbate? And she says, I don't masturbate, it's probable that she doesn't masturbate because you gave a real non-judgmental softball opening where it's obvious that you assume that she does and you're asking how frequently she does. And so if she says she doesn't, then she doesn't. I've talked about this before. Many low libido women and or women that were trained to think that sex is bad do not, in fact, masturbate. Men think that they're lying. They're not lying. They don't masturbate. They just don't. It never occurred to them as something that one would do, and so they don't do it. And they think about it the way that you think about writing a love poem, like something that's out of some form of media, not something that's in reality. But you can and should ask what they think about when they masturbate, what their sexual fantasies are, not whether they have any. Don't do these yes-no questions, because with the yes-no questions, the woman might think that you are hoping the answer is no. So if she's trained to be very shy around and closed off around sex anyway, then she's probably just going to say no if it's like a yes-no question. So don't accept the one about whether she liked it, then she'll always say yes. But if you say, do you masturbate? She'll say no. Do you have fantasies? No. Do you want more sex? No. Do you, whatever. So what are you really getting from this as an overarching theme of how to interact better with your sexual partner is openness to feedback. So a guy who's like, oh, do you like it better when I use my hands or when I use my hand or when I use my mouth is so different than a guy who's like, that was good, right? You came, right? Don't ever be that guy. Don't be man number 2. Because it's preposterous to assume that such an anxious lead up would allow anybody to be honest. It's not real. And B, it makes you look so anxious. And it's hard to be sexually open and comfortable around somebody who's so anxious. So what the woman learns from that, it was okay, right? It was good, right? That's as bad as when during sex the guys are like, are you okay? Like, am I hurting you? That's a big one. Am I hurting you? Like, as though the woman wouldn't be able to say, you're hurting me. Women are not rendered mute by a penis. So, if you constantly say to women stuff like, am I hurting you? Are you okay? Was that good? Was it okay? Am I okay? Did you come? Did you that? No, stop. Don't do that. That does not get you any good information, so it's useless. And all it does is kind of project this air of real insecurity and anxiety, which is a turnoff, but even more important than it being a turnoff is that it shows the woman that this is not a safe space to be open about feedback. And then you are winning the battle of making sure that you don't feel bad about your performance that minute, which you might if she said something like you say, did you come from me going down on you? And she says no. Yeah, well, you'll feel bad in that minute. But long term, then, you would feel a lot better because you would learn how to go down on her so that she has an orgasm, which is the point. And so you would have learned something, and that should overall make your relationship better and closer, etc. So you always want to project an air, and you may have to fake it till you make it, but you always want to project an air of open-mindedness, receptivity to feedback, and you want to set the questions up so that the woman actually has a good chance of telling you the truth because you are literally saying, do you like this or this, implies that there is something that you don't like as much, but you are just such a confident man about town that you don't care hearing about the things she doesn't like as much because you are committed to her sexual satisfaction. So you would rather to hear anything bad than to have her go through another subpar sexual experience. So it takes a lot of work and, for many, therapy to engage in this way, because if you are naturally extremely anxious and insecure about your performance, it will be a real leap to be able to project an air of confidence. However, net, eventually you're going to grow a lot more confident by seeing that the world doesn't end if she says, no, I didn't come, and it's funny to think about it, because in the moment it seems like, oh my God, like it would be so terrible. But then long term, this is like the most useful information you could possibly get. So it seems, if you think about it, so illogical that you would be so scared of getting that feedback. What you want to be scared of is being thought of as a selfish and anxious partner. Like, that's way worse, and that kind of ensures that she's never going to enjoy sex. So what we really want to focus on when you're doing this is also, if you've never talked to your wife before in bed because you've been too anxious to even solicit the type of feedback that I say is useless, did you come or whatever, then she may be like, what are you asking me for? And in that case, you say, because I want things to be better. I, have noticed that you are not like over the top enthusiastic about having sex with me. And so I want things to be better for you. It's occurred to me that I haven't really asked for a lot of feedback. So I really want to know what you're thinking. I want to be a better partner for you. I want to give you a good experience. So, what would be wrong with that? There's no woman that would judge that. That is a positive thing overall. And the only thing that she might think about is, what the hell happened to him? And if she says, what the hell happened to you, that now you're thinking like this, you say very honestly, as I always tell you to say, I've been researching stuff, and it's occurred to me from, researching stuff that women have brains and they're thinking things that I may not know about. And so therefore, that was an epiphany, and now I'm asking you about it. Not fully. It's not a full epiphany that women have brains, but you really wouldn't know that from talking to the average guy about his sex life, because he tends to think that however he's feeling in bed is how she's feeling in bed, and nothing could be further from the truth, because people are different in their own bodies and their own brains, and a guy could think that the sex life is pretty okay, and the woman could think the sex life is crap. And or I've also seen the opposite, where a guy is super worried about something like coming too quick or something, and the woman thinks everything's fine. So in that regard, you would be in a situation where she's like, I don't really know if I would like this or that better. I mean, we could try. I really like what we do. And then you would say, well, then why don't you want to have sex with me more? And she would be like, I have apparently no sex drive at all. And so I'm trying to get in the mood when I can. And sorry, but I have, I don't think sex is bad. I actually really like it. And then I specifically like this or this. So that would be a great outcome to happen. And that is an outcome that is feasible and that I've seen in my office, where women are like, no, I mean, it is really good. Like, he is really good in bed, and bed isn't his problem. His problem is his personality, so there could be other problems. But at least then you would be reassured that the problem is not your penis or what you do with it, but you as a man, which has got to be really reassuring. All right, so hopefully you got something out of this, and you have at least a pep talk to put some pep in your step, where you then can get out of your comfort zone and ask more salient, useful feedback getting questions, with the overarching goal of having a deeper and more meaningful and authentic connection in bed and out of bed. All right, have a great day, everybody.